The incredible science behind a bee's sting: defense, sacrifice, and survival. Bees have fascinated humans for thousands of years. From their critical role as pollinators to their complex social structures, they have been symbols of hard work and community. Yet, one of the most misunderstood aspects of bees is their ability to sting. Why do bees sting? What happens when they do? And how do they respond to threats? In this deep dive, we'll explore the biology behind a bee's sting, the reasons bees use their sting, and the incredible mechanisms that allow them to defend themselves. Before we dive into the mechanics of stinging, let's take a look at the bee itself. There are over 20,000 species of bees in the world, and while not all of them can sting, the ones that do share a common trait: an efficient, though sometimes deadly, defensive weapon. The sting. A bee's sting is a modified ovipositor, originally used for laying eggs but evolved over time as a defensive tool. This means that only female bees, which possess this ovipositor, can sting. Male bees, or drones, are not equipped with stingers and therefore cannot defend the hive in the same way. The stinger itself is connected to venom sacs, which store venom used to incapacitate predators or threats. In species like honeybees, the sting has barbs. Once they sting, these barbs cause the stinger to lodge into the skin of the threat, leading to the bee's death after the act. However, the death of the bee is not in vain. The venom released during the sting can inflict pain and potentially deter predators from returning to the hive. For a bee colony, protecting the hive is of utmost importance. The hive houses the queen, worker bees, honey, and young bees, making it the center of the colony's survival. Worker bees, which make up the majority of the population in a hive, are the ones tasked with foraging for food and protecting the colony. This is where the sting comes in. When a threat approaches the hive, whether it's a bear, a bird, or even a human, worker bees are prepared to defend their home. Bees don't sting indiscriminately. In fact, stinging is often a last resort for a bee. Honeybees, in particular, will not sting unless they feel there is no other option. This makes sense when you consider that stinging usually results in their death. So why do bees sting in the first place? The answer lies in their survival instinct and the need to protect the colony at all costs. When a bee feels threatened, it first releases a chemical signal known as an alarm pheromone. This pheromone serves as a warning to other bees in the hive, alerting them to the presence of danger. The scent of the pheromone can attract other worker bees to the scene, preparing them to defend the hive if necessary. The intensity of the response depends on the perceived level of threat. For instance, if a predator is small and easily deterred, only a few bees may respond. However, if the threat is large or persistent, the entire colony could become mobilized. Let's take a closer look at how a bee's sting works. When a honeybee stings, its barbed stinger becomes lodged in the skin of its target. As the bee pulls away, the stinger remains behind, along with a small portion of the bee's abdomen, which includes the venom sac, muscles, and nerves. This process kills the bee. However, the venom sac continues to pump venom into the target even after the bee has flown away or died. This is why it's important to remove a bee's stinger as quickly as possible after being stung. The venom itself contains several compounds that cause pain, inflammation, and sometimes allergic reactions. One of the primary components of bee venom is a protein called melittin, which damages cells and activates pain receptors. Additionally, enzymes in the venom can break down cell membranes, further contributing to the pain and swelling associated with a sting. In some cases, people may experience more severe reactions, including anaphylaxis, a life-threatening allergic reaction that requires immediate medical attention. While honeybees die after stinging, other species of bees, such as bumblebees, can sting multiple times. Bumblebees have a smoother stinger, which allows them to withdraw it without the same fatal consequences as honeybees. However, bumblebees, like honeybees, tend to be non-aggressive and will only sting when they feel their colony is in danger. So, what triggers a bee's defensive response? Bees are sensitive to a variety of stimuli that can signal the presence of a threat. For instance, sudden movements near the hive, vibrations, and strong odors, such as sweat or perfume, can all trigger a defensive reaction in bees. Additionally, dark clothing or fur may resemble the natural predators of bees, such as bears, making bees more likely to sting in response. Interestingly, bees also use stinging as a way to protect themselves from other insects. For example, wasps are known to invade beehives and steal honey or attack bees. In these cases, worker bees will sting the invading wasp to defend the hive. In some instances, bees may even sacrifice themselves to kill a wasp. When enough bees sting a wasp, the venom can overwhelm the wasp system, leading to its death. This form of collective defense shows just how far bees will go to protect their colony. Another intriguing aspect of bee stings is the phenomenon of the bee ball. When a predator, such as a hornet, enters the hive, worker bees will swarm around the intruder, forming a tight ball. Inside the ball, the bees vibrate their wings, generating heat. The temperature inside the bee ball can rise to a level that is lethal to the hornet, but not to the bees themselves. This coordinated defense mechanism allows bees to neutralize predators without having to rely solely on their stingers. While stinging is an effective defense strategy for bees, it also comes with risks. As mentioned earlier, honeybees die after stinging, and even though bumblebees can sting multiple times, excessive stinging can deplete their energy reserves. For this reason, bees are selective about when and where they sting. They often use other forms of communication, such as buzzing or flying in erratic patterns, to warn potential threats before resorting to stinging. This behavior helps conserve energy and avoid unnecessary conflict. Before we continue, kindly like and subscribe so that you don't miss out our next video. In addition to physical threats, bees also face environmental challenges that can affect their ability to defend themselves. Pesticides, habitat loss, and climate change all play a role in weakening bee populations. Pesticides in particular can impair a bee's nervous system, making it more difficult for them to detect and respond to threats. Habitat loss reduces the availability of food and shelter, making it harder for bees to thrive and defend their colonies. Climate change can also alter the availability of flowers and nectar, which are essential for bee survival. Despite these challenges, bees remain incredibly resilient creatures. Their ability to work together as a colony, defend their hive, and adapt to changing environments is a testament to their evolutionary success. Bees have been around for millions of years, and their role in pollination makes them crucial to the survival of many plant species, including crops that humans rely on for food. In recent years, there has been a growing awareness of the importance of bees and the need to protect them. Beekeepers, scientists, and environmentalists are working together to promote practices that support bee populations, such as planting pollinator-friendly gardens, reducing the use of harmful pesticides, and creating habitats that provide food and shelter for bees. While stinging may be the most well-known aspect of bee behavior, it is just one small part of what makes bees so fascinating. Their complex social structures, ability to communicate through dances, and incredible work ethic are just a few of the traits that have made them such successful creatures. In conclusion, the bee's sting is both a powerful defense mechanism and a symbol of sacrifice. Bees use their stingers to protect their hive, often at great personal cost. Whether defending their colony from predators, responding to environmental challenges, or simply going about their daily work of pollinating plants, bees play a vital role in the natural world. As we continue to learn more about these amazing insects, it's clear that there is much we can do to ensure their survival and support the ecosystems they help maintain. So the next time you see a bee buzzing around, remember that it's not just a creature with a sting, it's a vital part of our world, working tirelessly to keep our planet's ecosystems in balance. Bee venom, also known as apitoxin, is a complex cocktail of proteins and enzymes that serve multiple functions. One of the key components is melittin, a protein that damages cell membranes and activates pain receptors in the body, leading to the familiar burning sensation associated with bee stings. Melittin also causes cells to release inflammatory substances like histamine, which contributes to the swelling and redness around the sting site. Another important enzyme in bee venom is phospholipase A2, which breaks down cell membranes and further contributes to tissue damage. Hyaluronidase is yet another enzyme in the venom that helps the venom spread through tissues by breaking down hyaluronic acid, a substance that holds cells together. In addition to these enzymes and proteins, bee venom contains compounds that modulate the immune response. This is why some people experience more severe allergic reactions to bee stings, ranging from localized swelling to life-threatening anaphylaxis. In individuals with severe allergies, bee venom can trigger a cascade of immune responses, leading to difficulty breathing, a drop in blood pressure, and even unconsciousness. For these individuals, immediate treatment with an epinephrine injection is crucial. Interestingly, bee venom has been studied for its potential medicinal properties. Some research suggests that melittin has anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer effects, and bee venom therapy is used in certain alternative medicine practices to treat conditions like arthritis and multiple sclerosis. However, more research is needed to fully understand the therapeutic potential and risks of bee venom. So if a honeybee's sting is almost always fatal for the bee, why do they sting in the first place? The answer lies in their highly developed social structure and survival instincts. Bees live in colonies, which function as tightly knit communities, where every individual plays a role in ensuring the survival of the hive. Worker bees, which are the ones responsible for stinging, have one primary objective: to protect the queen and the colony's resources. In the wild, bees face numerous threats, from predators like bears and skunks to smaller insects like wasps that may attempt to invade the hive and steal honey. When a worker bee perceives a threat, its first instinct is not to sting, but to assess the situation. Bees are surprisingly cautious and will often attempt to warn a potential threat before resorting to stinging. This warning behavior can include buzzing loudly, flying erratically around the intruder, or even performing mock attacks where they bump into the threat without stinging. If the threat doesn't back down after these warnings, the worker bee will prepare to sting. Upon stinging, the bee releases alarm pheromones, chemical signals that alert other worker bees to the presence of a threat. When discussing bee defense, it's essential to touch on the queen bee's role. While the queen bee is the most important member of the colony, her role in defense is quite limited. The queen has a stinger, but it is primarily used for combat against rival queens, not for defending the hive against predators. When a new queen emerges in a hive, she may have to fight other potential queens to establish dominance. In this case, the queen will use her stinger to kill her rivals. Once she has secured her place as the sole queen, her focus shifts to reproduction, and she rarely leaves the hive. The queen's pheromones, however, play a critical role in the overall behavior of the hive. By producing a range of pheromones, the queen can influence the behavior of the worker bees, including their defensive actions. For example, the presence of the queen's pheromones can help maintain order and reduce the likelihood of chaos in the hive during times of stress or attack. Without the queen's steadying influence, the hive may become more disorganized, making it less effective at defending itself. Bees have a finely tuned sense of danger and can differentiate between various types of threats. The way bees respond to a threat depends on its size, behavior, and proximity to the hive. For small threats, such as individual insects or small mammals, bees may only send a few workers to investigate and neutralize the danger. These scout bees assess the situation and determine whether a full-scale defensive effort is necessary. Often, a few stings or aggressive buzzing is enough to ward off the intruder. For larger threats, such as humans or large animals, the bee's response becomes much more coordinated. As mentioned earlier, bees release alarm pheromones when they sting, which triggers a hive-wide defensive reaction. In these situations, dozens or even hundreds of bees may swarm to defend the hive. This collective defense strategy increases the chances of driving away large threats, even at the cost of losing several bees in the process.